I was about to say mastermind group. I'm not in my mastermind group. What's up, YouTube? Wanted to talk to y'all tonight about something that came up. I'm putting my seatbelt on. About something that came up in the mastermind group, and I said, you know what? This is something that I should share with the open public because this is important, okay? What happens when the customer does not pay the franchise? How do you handle that? That's number one. How do you handle that, right? So, I'm stalling because I'm letting everybody filter in. But what happens when the customer doesn't pay the franchise? Well, first of all, it depends on which franchise you are with. That's number one. And so the thing is this: the ultimate sum of the story is if they don't pay the franchise, and guess what? You won't get paid, right? That's common sense. Except for if you're with a franchise that allowed you to participate in some type of business protection plan that will allow them to still pay you, even if the customer doesn't pay them. I know that Jam Pro does allow that. I don't know who else allows that, but it's like an extra 2% of your gross, and it's an optional fee that you can opt into. And if you opt into that little program, then they'll pay you even when the customer doesn't pay them. However, obviously, after I think probably 2 or 3 months, they're gonna stop that contract altogether and cancel it. So it ain't like they gonna just keep paying you forever while they're not getting paid, right? But that's a good thing to have. Now I can tell you now, I don't participate in that plan just simply because I don't think it happens often enough for me to, right? It has happened to me twice within the last 3 years since I've been a franchise owner with Jam Pro in Virginia. Where my customers didn't pay. It happened twice. Once the customer actually wasn't receiving the bill anymore. The invoice was going to the wrong person because the old accounts receivable person or accounts payable, whatever it was, the old person that was the contact for that had left the company, and so nobody was forwarding those emails with the invoices to the new accounts payable contact. So they weren't even getting the bill. So when I went in there to kind of confront them about it, they paid the bill right on the spot, right? And so then the other one, they just straight canceled services. I emailed them and let them know that, hey, I'm gonna have to suspend services until further notice, until your bill is brought to current. And so effective immediately, we won't be returning for service. And so that's how I had to handle that one, right? So in one instance, the customer couldn't pay at all, and I just never got paid. And then also, and then the other instance, the customer caught their bill back up and all was happy and merry, right? But here's the thing. So when that one where the customer never paid, guess what had happened? My franchise still paid me for like 3 months after the fact of the customer not paying them. So guess what had to happen? The franchise had to recoup those 3 months worth of payments back from it because they were paying me even though they weren't getting paid. And I wasn't in that little protection program. So luckily for me, that was a very tiny account. It was a once a week account that we went to, so it wasn't a huge hit. And the franchise, they prepared me. They told me probably in month 2 that the customer wasn't paying anymore. So once they told me, I went ahead and told them, hey, go ahead and stop paying me. So actually on that 3rd month, they paid me, but they took it right back as a miscellaneous deduction. So I only had to pay back 2 months worth of payments back to them. And they prepared me for it, so I was ready for it. And like I said, it was a small account, so it wasn't a huge hit. But it did happen, right? And so these are things that you got to be prepared for. I was so glad that Makia brought it up in the group because even though I was pissed that it had to happen to her, I was glad that she brought it up because it was something that I never spoke about before. So that's something that you need to think about and figure out how you want to handle that. The advice that I gave in the group was to just make sure you got cash available on hand, right? Always make sure that you're prepared for the worst. Keep some cash in your business account. Prepare for the worst situations. You never want to operate on absolutely no cash at all, right? So, or just opt into the program if you have one of those with your franchise. But like I said, the reason why I don't like to opt into the program, this is just me. I could be wrong on this, right? But the reason why I don't like to opt into that program is because it's a percentage. If they told me for a set rate per month, if it was $100 every month and it never changed, then I will opt in. But since it's a percentage of my gross, I don't want to opt in because every time I make more, that means that they're going to take more, and I don't want to have to go through that. So That's the reason why I didn't opt in. I figured I'd just keep a stash of reserve on hand for myself, and then I also make sure I'm in good communication with the franchise, so that way, if the problem ever does come, then I'll just be prepared for it, and they'll give me a heads up, right? So that's pretty much the solution to that. But I did want to bring that up to y'all. I thought that was a very, very, very important component that I never ever spoke about on here, or even in my ebook. I didn't cover that. So shout out to Makia for that. And make sure y'all go subscribe to her YouTube channel as well. She has a YouTube channel. It's a Makia Live, I believe it is, on YouTube, right? But anyway, thank y'all for watching. Subscribe, like, and share in the comment. If you got any comments before I get off, shoot them in. I will try to get to them while I'm driving. Let's see. We got oh, my bad. It's M Cherry, right? I think it is. I don't know. But she said thanks for the. Makia said thanks for the advice. Arnaldo Camarina says you go kick the. He said you go kick the ass, right? Well. And that's the thing too. So that's another thing that we got to remember. And I also mentioned this in the group. I'm giving y'all some stuff because, like I said, I feel like this is stuff that everybody should know, right? We ain't gonna go too far with the separating the paid stuff from the free stuff. We got to make sure we still helping people. So, another thing that I pointed out too in the group is the fact that those customers, right? Those customers that you have with most of these franchises, it depends on again which franchise company you're with. But most of the time, when you're with a franchise, those customers aren't actually your customers on paper, right? When you sign documents, when you accept accounts, what are the documents that you're signing? You think about it and answer me like, what do you sign when you accept an account? You sign an account acceptance agreement, right? Which means that you're accepting the account from the franchise, and then you're signing probably some type of walkthrough form or startup form or something like that where it just gives you the information about the account. But that's about it. You never ever sign a pricing agreement or a service agreement between you and the customer. So technically those customers don't belong to you, they belong to the franchise, right? We know that. We've went over that, right? So when the customer doesn't pay, as a franchise owner, there's really nothing that you personally can do about it. I mean, you can go in and discuss it with them, but overall, like, your company can't go out there and take legal action against the customer because that's technically not your customer. Your customer is the franchise that you're with. So that's the only person, if anything was ever to go wrong, they're the only people that you could take legal action against is the franchise. Okay, so I also wanted to put that out there. So make sure that you consider that in any instance. Now, in this particular case, if the customer doesn't pay the franchise and then you don't get paid, or they come back and recoup your money later, you can't sue the franchise. Why? Because they told you that in the franchise disclosure document. So they already disclosed that to you from the beginning. If you chose not to read that document, then guess whose fault that is? In business, that's yours, right? So these are important things. These are great things to consider and think about as new business owners, as franchise owners. And I'm glad that it came up so we can discuss it. So again, now I'm wrapping up for real. Thank y'all for watching. Make sure you join the mastermind group. You get the first-hand knowledge. You get the stuff like this that nobody else is talking about. There's nowhere else you're gonna get this. I don't care who channel you watch, what other stuff you doing, blah blah blah, etc., right? But you're not gonna get this stuff. And we also have so many different people from different franchises, so we get different points of view, right? So, but anyway, we also got independent people as well. I see questions coming in. I'm gonna catch them real quick. Let's see. Arnaldo Camarina says, if they don't pay where I bought my franchise, we still get paid for the 12. Y'all work with me. I'm on the interstate trying to read, right? We still get paid for 12 months, and the account is supposed to be secure. So if they don't pay where I bought my franchise, we still. So if that's how he said, what he's saying is, he's supposed to still get paid for the 12 months, even if the customer doesn't pay him, I believe is what he's saying, because there's agreement in place. I would recommend that you make sure that that's accurate, because that's very, very, that's a tough pill for that franchise to swallow, okay? So if that's accurate, that's impressive, but I would recommend that you make sure you read that very carefully and be sure that that's exactly what that is, all right? And I think I went the wrong way, so I get to talk for a little bit longer, right? Let's see, Devin Devin Banks says, I got a daycare that need cleaning, but I found the account, but I'm with Jam Pro. What do I do? There's a couple things you can do. You can go out there and first thing you want to do, well, it depends on how you want to approach it. If you trust yourself enough, you're experienced enough to go out there and bid on it yourself so you can save yourself some fees, then take that route. And so if you're going to do it that way, well, first, before if you go that way, the other thing you can do is just let your franchise, your ops person know, or somebody in sales know, and let them close the deal, and maybe they'll give you like a month off or something, like a discounted rate at a sales and marketing fee. But if you want to save even more on your sales and marketing fee, then go out there and bid it yourself. How you bid it yourself is simply go out there, schedule an appointment with the point of contact at this potential customer, measure the account, add up square feet, plug in your numbers, come up with a quote, send the quote back to them. And that's pretty much it, right? So once you send the quote back to them, if they want to follow through, then you have them sign for it. As far as putting the proposal and all that together, you're gonna have to get with the franchise, simply because, again, that contract is gonna be between the franchise and the customer, and not your company and the customer. Okay, so you're gonna have to deal with the franchise either way. But if you want to save as much fees as possible, then you got to bid it yourself. All right, so that's that. If you don't know how to bid, ajsimmonsonline.com. Either join the mastermind group or buy Janitorial Bidding Decoder. Alright, so, and it'll teach you how to bid, and it will show you, it'll give you a bidding calculator as well. So I'm not just going to give you the computer and let you plug in numbers. I'm going to actually show you how to come up with the numbers also. Alright, I think I answered everything. That's it. I think I'm going to get off before I take another wrong exit or turn again. But I thank y'all for watching. Subscribe, like, and share, and comment. And I will talk to y'all soon. Thank you.